Hi everyone, I am Brian Mullins the Fox. Welcome to the second edition of this somewhat new short-form series. A parallel event argument is a logical framework that establishes a conclusion about a specific target event or scenario by drawing a direct comparison to a similar, structurally identical event, a parallel. If two events share the exact same underlying dynamics, the argument dictates that what applies to one should apply to the other. On October 20th, 2017, when I hosted the first of two official roast game debates, one line in the Will Tester hypothetical is about to hit so differently in the somewhat distant future. Who or what do you think is special? This one line is also echoed in the second and final debate that was initially held on November 29th, 2017. Here's how and what makes this part hit so differently in 2026 than it ever did for nearly an entire decade since. I pointed it out in a reply I made to someone who posted a comment on SFD number 1. And I quote my own response, "A deep but short documentary." Someone asking what is so special about content you can see on a different network entirely is exactly like me asking what is so special about a holiday roast back in 2017. And looking back at this now, what happened around the Christmas of 2025 and what will happen on Christmas Eve 2026 if anything else will. I'll paraphrase the other line from the two debates and apply it in both past, present, and future tense. 1. The roast game is pretty simple. First, ask any family member what is special about a holiday roast. 2. The Odyssey Network relaunch is pretty simple. First, ask any family member what is special about a dying religious cable network that'll have programming that will completely and needlessly replace religious content with shows anyone can watch on any other network instead of Odyssey. 3. The culture shock of 2025 is pretty simple. First, ask any family member what is special about having a Christmas dinner, and then have Canadians starve themselves for the entirety of Christmas Day that year over him disinviting leftist and other press journalists from his Christmas dinner when they could easily have one of their own without any problems or major malfunctions. And 4. Falling Maple Orange is pretty simple. First, ask any family member what is special about a sitting United States president hosting a Christmas dinner in Canada. And I have warned all of you about this. Unlike Thanksgiving dinner, the only real valuable history of Christmas dinner in America is the history of the ridiculous competition itself. Unlike what happened to Odyssey Network between 1999 and 2001, there's no need to slate in programming anyone can watch anywhere else. And unlike what happened to John F. Kennedy, the environment surrounding Trump's inevitable death will be of complete indifference and people will move on like it never happened. Do you all now realize how much of a parallel event argument this is in general? Because almost 2 weeks ago, I did. It shares the same exact dynamics: culture shock, Christmas dinner, Donald Trump, and mass death. And most importantly of all, traditional Christmas dinner in both big North American countries can easily be just as completely replaced, proving it was never really special to begin with, as US presidents will inevitably become once Trump is unfortunately assassinated on Christmas Eve. A network can be replaced, but over 100 million children that died can't. I must say this one thing. Had Christmas dinner never become commercialized this way at all, none of this would have happened. The acquisition of a dying religious cable network would have done fuck all to anyone, and there's not a snowball's chance in ass of Falling Maple Orange being a potential, yet distant danger, much less the assassination of the century. I'm Brian Mullins the Fox, signing out.
You caught me, didn't you? Can't hide from these eyes.